Toy Rat.
What's up, Collector fam? It's your boy Tony the Toy Rat, and I'm back with another rigorous resin review, and this time a comparison to the other turtles that we have obtained this year. So earlier, if you guys haven't watched already, I've unboxed Leonardo. That's this guy right here. Now, if you haven't checked him out, he's pretty damn cool. Now, like most of the other sculpts of this caliber, his base is hollow. He's not very heavy. He's just over about a pound, maybe 2. He sits really nicely on a firm, solid location. There isn't any wiggle to the movement here. In terms of the piece, the flowing elements are the back of his bandana back here. They move a little bit. The swords, clearly, they're going to move a little bit. The cases for the swords in the back, the sheaths, if you will, they're going to be a little bit movable. But beyond that, everything else is pretty static. He's featured his grimace there. And we're going to take a look at those by comparison. There is a slight difference to the RAF. So at least that I'm thankful for, because most of the other elements that they're wearing are very, very similar. So I'm going to put this guy down for a second. That is the Leonardo sculpt. Now we've just got through unboxing Raphael. And Raphael, just like his counterpart, is placed in the corner section of a building. So you can see that from both of them. You're looking down here at our Leonardo. And Leonardo, like I said here, is also on the edge of a building with a step down on it. So both of the buildings have step downs on them, and they have 1 foot going on, 1 foot sort of going off. Leonardo's leaping off the building in this one, and Raphael is sort of posturing as he prepares to follow behind. Now, everything about these guys is very similar, but there are subtle differences. Obviously, the turtles look like the turtles. The shells look like the shells. Now, that's not saying nothing. Now, the shells actually look pretty cool. I think they did a good job in not overdoing it, but the texture that they put on the shells gives them some realistic qualities, and I can really appreciate that. The belts, the utility belts that they're rocking on both sides, obviously Raphael has an R on his belt, while Leonardo has an L on his belt. So, you know, there you go, just in case. There's an L there. You're forgetting which turtle is which. You only need to look down at the belts. So that's kind of cool. Obviously, Raphael is holding the sai. That is his weapon of choice. It does look formidable. It's really cool the way they've got his hand positioned around the blades. One facing inward towards him, the other one facing outward and behind him. So again, sort of a threatening pose, posturing in defense a little bit. And then we have, of course, as we discussed previously, the Leonardo. And the Leonardo looks like he's in full attack mode with his weapons drawn, unsheathed, and he's running full blaze and jumping off the edge of the building with his weapons drawn. So that's attack. Something's getting cut on that side of the building. Love both of these guys. I think they're both awesome. I think they're great to have. The slight problem I have is in the diorama. Okay? The diorama itself is cool. I mean, they're both really cool. But they're just so similar that if I was to envision them both being on the roof at the same time, they would literally have to be at different corners of the building. Ergo, doing this number here. And I don't think, in terms of the turtles, I mean, they want to be fighting in this direction, right? Like, coming towards you. But I don't think that's the posture they would take. Now, if there's 4 of these, which we have to assume there is, and I know there's a Donatello that's already out, that's going to be on the other corner of a building. So that from a diorama standpoint, I'm not sure I get the selection set when the approach would likely be from the collector's side to put these things together. So if you're putting them together on the shelf, does that let the suspension of disbelief take over? Could this be reality land? That's where I lose it a little bit on the diorama side. but the turtles themselves are super cool. Instead of the bandana whipping behind him as he moves forward, as in Leonardo's case here, you can see the wind is just like crackling those the edges of his bandana over really far because he's ripping through the air. In this scene with Raphael, however, the wind seems to just have taken his bandana and blown it off to the left because positionally he's not really moving very fast in this diorama set. So therein lies the differences. They also have some differences in their utility belt. While Leonardo, if you can see here in the front, let's see here, Leonardo's got a couple of these pouches in the front. RAF's only got the one next to the R. There is subtle differences in the utility belts. Leonardo has his really cracked up in the back. I'm not sure you guys can see that. There's a bunch of cracks back there. Whereas it looks like there is more of a mesh belt on the utility belt for Raphael. There is the guards that he would need over his hands because he's a swordsplay guy, which are these gloves. These, I forget what they call these guards that they put over your hands. Meanwhile, RAF is really just bandaged up in sort of ace bandage wear, which is still really cool, but a difference in the texture. Their feet have very similar textural elements on them in terms of just having some sort of bandage around the edges of them. And then, of course, there's some subtle differences in the diorama approach. One, with the Leonardo, has some cardboard, some big boxes that are out there. There's some pizza stuff. And then there's some drinks and soda cans over on the side with RAF. And there's some mechanical elements on his side as well. So there's two pieces that have mechanical elements. I'm not sure you guys can see that there. I'm not sure what the mechanical elements are. I need a turtle aficionado to help me out with that. We're talking about this piece right here. And I believe, yeah, we have another piece like that here in the Leonardo sculpt. Okay, so, you know, let's get right to it. These two statues right here are awesome. They look very similar. You can tell they were sculpted by the same people, which is awesome because there's not going to be a lot of differences between them. Clearly, the turtles are supposed to look alike. The colors make the differences. The differences are in some of the subtle changes in the costuming. And then, obviously, in appearance, there's a full grimace from RAF, or a half grimace from RAF, excuse me, and a full grimace from Leonardo. One's in full action pose. The other one's getting ready to be in action pose. These are 3 cheese statues. These are awesome. These are turtle statues for anyone who loves the turtles. Love the turtles, gotta have this. Love the turtles, gotta have this. Okay, love the turtles, need them both. So I put these down. Now, earlier this year, I had the fortunate chance to unbox The Last Ronin. Now, if you guys don't know what The Last Ronin is, that is the last of the turtles to survive an attack from Shredder's grandson. So now that 3 of the turtles are dead, 1 is left, and he's set out to avenge his brothers. I love the sculpt. Initially, when I saw it, I thought, wow, this is really, really cool. It's a really slender version of the turtles if you're looking at it. And the more I look at it now, there are some subtle differences that I think I might have changed. The biggest problem I have between this and this is their portrait. The size of these guys, although the height seems the same, The Last Ronin almost appears human. Like, his physique is more human-like than it is turtle-like. You take a look at how these turtles are over-exaggerated in the sculpture of their legs, especially their calves, the bicep overstructure, the tricep overstructure. Big. And then, of course, what did we not accommodate for? There's a giant turtle shell, so you put anything on him, it'll be like when the Thing puts on a jacket, the Thing from Fantastic Four. It'll be like when he puts on a jacket, basically, you know, you're going to see this bulbous thing kind of at the back. We don't see that with The Last Ronin. And he's fully covered. Now, there's a little bump in the back, but it's like a baby shell. So, I had previously given this statue 3 cheeses. And I really do like it. But by comparison, if you're looking to make a purchase and you have the choice between buying 1, 2, or 3 of these, if I'm going to put them on the shelf next to each other, These two for sure. But this guy is the odd man out. So, I'm not as appreciative of the sculpt of the last Ronin, I hate to say, now that I have full sculptures of the turtles in their raw form, because they didn't do enough to match. Now, if the last Ronin sculpt had a face, a body style, and structure that matched the other turtles, they would be perfect. Because then it would seem like this is the guy left on a vendetta. But right now, this could be the turtle's cousin. So that's kind of how I feel about it. 3 chief statues on these big turtles here. 2 on the last Ronin statue. That's a revised number for me. And I would definitely still purchase them all. So these are Diamond Select Toys. Raphael, Leonardo, and the last Ronin all looked at together. Hopefully this will help you guys make some Christmas decisions or some decisions for the collectors moving forward. That's it. This is Tony the Toy Rat, and I am